so loud. Hold on. Hello everybody. So today it is Saturday and it is normally sourdough bread day. But we have a loaf in the freezer still. And we still have, it's been a hectic week, so we just didn't go through the sourdough as quickly as we normally do. I make 2 every Saturday. Normally it works out. We at least at 1.5. But we just didn't this week, and I fed my sourdough starter out of habit. I keep it in the fridge all week, so I just out of habit feed it every Friday night. That way it's ready for the weekend. So I have my starter here, but we don't need bread. So also I apologize for the humming or the noise. I did not think ahead and I put the dishwasher on. So what I'm thinking is making sourdough bagels and seeing how that goes. Also, I already know my fiance watching this is gonna be making fun of me for the way I say bagels. It's how I say it. Bagels, 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 bagels. So, we're going to try making some sourdough bagels today. So the recipe that I'm following is from Simplicity and a Starter. I'll put the link down below. I got my bowl, my scale. I really like this recipe too because it comes with the grams, but it also has the approximate measuring cup measurements. We need 250 grams of warm water, and that will help, the warm water will help it proof a little quick. And then we need 150 grams of active sourdough starter. Do a dollop, make sure it floats. And something I liked about this recipe too that I noticed is not only the measurements in cups and grams, but she also sort of mentions and keeps, like, if you don't have a Danish dough whisk like this, you don't have to buy one. It's not like, you can just use your fingers, it does the same thing. She notes that in the recipe, which is nice because there are some recipes that for sourdough are like, it has to be done this way, and it doesn't. So we're gonna mix that in together. And then we need 40 grams of sugar. Then we're going to add 500 grams of bread flour. And I'm just going to do like a rough mix of this first with my dough whisk. But then we're actually going to knead the dough a little bit, do like a stretch and fold and knead situation. So if, again, you don't have a Danish dough whisk or some type of a dough whisk, you can just mix it with your hands. Now that it's this shaggy dough, I'm just gonna go in with my hands. You know what I don't hear people talk about? Maybe I'm just weird, but whenever I freshly mix this dough, whether it's for sourdough bread, this, I think just dough in general, not even just sourdough, it smells like Play-Doh to me. Like the homemade Play-Doh that I used to play with as a kid. I don't know if it's just the flour and like I just associate with it now. So we're gonna knead the dough for 5 to 6 minutes. And the technique she sort of describes is almost like a stretch, fold, and then knead it into the bowl, turn the bowl, do the same thing, and just keep incrementally turning the bowl as we knead the dough. Now, she does say that you can definitely do this in like a KitchenAid with or mixing, any type of mixing apparatus with a dough hook, but she notes that the bagels turn out a little more dense than if you just do it by hand. And I don't feel like dirtying my KitchenAid today, at the moment at least. So we're gonna do it by hand. Also, as an update for the weather, it's still snowing. It's March 21st. It's officially spring as of yesterday. And it's snowing out still. So we kneaded our dough. We kneaded our dough for about 6 minutes. And it is a denser, stiffer dough, which it's meant to be, and a little lumpy. We're going to cover it with plastic, let it sit for an hour. Then we're gonna come back and do just 30 more seconds of kneading with it. And then we're gonna put it in a nice warm spot and let it double in size. So it's been about an hour. And we got our dough, so for about 30 more seconds, we're just gonna repeat that same sort of kneading pattern. So our dough is nice and smooth. There's no lumps in it. It's not sticky or anything. Formed into a nice ball. We're gonna put it back in the bowl, cover it again, and then we're gonna put it somewhere nice and warm for it to ferment and to rise, and we want it to double in size. So depending on how warm your environment is, depends on how quickly or how slowly it will rise. So it's been about 6 hours and our dough has roughly doubled in size, so it is time for shaping. Now it says we can do this on an unfloured surface. That's what we're gonna do. We'll see if I regret that or not. Just like that. And then we're going to sort of stretch it out into a rectangle. So that's about 1/2 inch thick, the dough. And while I'm shaping this, I have the oven set to preheat to 425 degrees. And I have a pot of water on to boil, to start boiling. So I have 7 bagels. I made them a little bigger. If you want it exact, you can weigh the dough balls that you make before shaping them. I didn't and ended up cutting it into 7 bagels instead of 8, which is what the recipe calls for. I'm gonna throw a little towel over these and I'm going to let them rise for 20 minutes while the oven finishes preheating. So the water's boiling. We're doing 30-second boil on one side, flipping them over, 30-second boil on the other side, and then I have a cooling rack here with a cloth underneath it, just to catch any drippage. About 30 seconds. Ta-da! And let them drip. I will say mine aren't floating, and I think they're supposed to float, but you know. This is the first time, okay? Okie dokie. So these are what they look like. This is a stage where if you were adding like toppings, if you were doing a flavored bagel, anything like that is when you would do it. I am not doing that this time. I'm just doing plain bagels, and then we can sort of do a flavored cream cheese or situation, whatever we want to do with them after. So what I'm gonna do now is let them drip a little bit, get some of the water off of them, and then we're gonna bake them. Okay guys, the bagels are out. I will say, probably should have stretched them a little more, because a lot of them are more of like a bagel with a crease in the middle than a hole. But like this looks like, that's a picture perfect bagel if you ask me. So I have them on a cooling rack, and I'm gonna let them just sit cool for a little bit, and then we will cut one open and see what the inside looks like, because that's what matters the most. Doesn't matter what they look like on the outside, what they look like on the inside. So we're gonna let them cool. They're gonna hang out, they're gonna cool off, and maybe tonight or early in the morning when we make one for breakfast. We'll see how they turned out. Good morning. I feel like I get hit by bus. But I'm gonna cut into one so we can see what the insides look like. They look so good. Yeah, that's how you make sourdough bagels. Ta-da! Let me know what else you want to see, and I will see you guys next Sunday.